Donald Trump had his latest public meltdown in the Oval Office yesterday during a de facto press conference about the Federal Reserve chair that he himself appointed, Jerome Powell, in addition to lying his ass off about gas prices, Canada, and Iran. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, we have several clips to play from this unhinged de facto press conference, starting with this.
When it comes to nuclear weapons, Mr. President, are you concerned that the Iranians may have some enriched uranium at Pickaxe Mountain?
No. The last thing they're thinking about right now is enriched uranium. They're not thinking about what they want to do is they want to get back to life, and they do want to meet me, and we'll do that quickly. We're going to do it quickly while we're meeting.
They said this morning that they don't want to meet with the U.S. Were they telling you something different in private?
They may say that to you. Don't you think they want to meet me? Don't you think we have sanctions on there that they can't do anything? Wouldn't you think that they want to meet me? I mean, they're not stupid people, but they went through a lot, and they suffered, and so did Israel. Israel suffered greatly. It was a nasty 12 days.
The problem is Donald Trump says that everybody wants to speak with him even when there's no credible reporting to support or substantiate that, and actually reporting to the contrary. There's no evidence that I'm aware of at this moment that Iran is trying to negotiate with Trump. That may change in the future, but right now there's no evidence to support it. And of course, as we discussed in a previous video, there are serious doubts that Trump's nuclear strike eliminated their stockpile of enriched uranium, and many people believe, including Republican lawmakers, it seems, that some enriched uranium was relocated prior to the strikes. But I digress. Here's another clip.
Okay.
Mr. President, go back to your Truth Social post on Canada specifically. Why are you deciding to end trade talks with Canada, and what rate are you looking to set?
So Canada put a charge on some of our companies, and Canada's been a very difficult country to deal with over the years. We hear Canada, we have a great relationship with the people of Canada, but it's been very difficult. And they put a charge, and they were a little bit early, we found out about it. So, and we have all the cards. We have every single one. We don't want to do anything bad, but they have, economically, we have such power over Canada. I'd rather not use it, but they did something with our tech companies today trying to copy Europe. They copied Europe. It's not going to work out well for Europe either. And it's not going to work out well for Canada. They were foolish to do it. And so I said, we're going to stop all negotiations with Canada right now until they straighten out their act. Okay?
Is there anything Canada can do to change your mind about this situation?
Well, no, they put a tax on companies that were American companies that they shouldn't, a very severe tax. And I guess they could remove it. They will, but it doesn't matter to me. We have all the cards. We have all the cards. We do a lot of business with Canada, but relatively little. They do most of their businesses with us. And when you have that circumstance, you treat people better. They've had farmers that are getting like 300, 400, 200% in tariffs. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We have.
So I'll remind you that the extant trade situation was negotiated by Donald Trump himself, the USMCA. It was his trade deal that he touted as a masterpiece in 2020, and then he spent the past 2 or 3 years bitching about it because he's wildly inconsistent. Number one. Number two, Canada's our biggest trading partner. And yes, a trade war or failure to negotiate with Canada will absolutely affect the United States. Now, is the United States, the bigger economy? Of course, by far. Is there more economic leverage by the United States than Canada? Yes. But given our close ties with Canada, is it possible for Canada to hurt us in a trade war? Of course. And as Prime Minister Mark Carney has indicated, they intend to do that if there is a trade war. They intend to target their tariffs in Republican and red states accordingly to put the maximum pressure on Donald Trump politically. But again, this whole, petulant, we're ending all tariff negotiations. Just go to Carney if you have an issue with the digital services tax, I think it's a DST, and just say, hey, listen, this is a potential, deal breaker with respect to our trade negotiations, but he won't do that. Instead, he just takes the most maximally unhinged approach. Classic Trump. Here's another clip.
In a short period of time, energy prices are way down. Gasoline now is down to close to $2 in a lot of places. A couple of places I see it even broke. It's like $1.98 a gallon. We've done a great job.
totally full of shit. This has been fact-checked to hell and back, even on Twitter, even by Elon Musk's Grok chatbot AI that he's desperately trying to change into, a MAGA regurgitator. There is no place in the country where gas is under $2, especially as Trump's saying in a lot of places. This is absurd. It's a lie, but this is what he does. He just constantly lies about the extent of his accomplishments or the extent of the good news on his watch. That's what Trump does. It's classic Trump. Now we've got some clips of him tearing into the Federal Reserve chair that he appointed, that Trump himself appointed, Jerome Powell, because Powell will not cut interest rates because Trump continues to threaten tariffs, which are inflationary, and Powell can't cut tariffs if you will potentially spike inflation. So Donald Trump, again, is creating the circumstances under which interest rates continue to be what they are. It's his fault, and he's upset with Jerome Powell instead of himself.
Right now. And we're paying more because we have a guy who's, suffers from, I think, Trump derangement syndrome, if you want to know the truth. But he's not good for our country.
Trump derangement syndrome. You appointed him, man. You appointed him. It's your fault. Like, if what you say is true, it's your fault and an indictment of your judgment and your character and your inability to appoint competent people. You were the one who put his ass there. I digress. Here's another clip of Trump ranting about Jerome Powell.
You have a guy in there that with the stroke of a pen could lower interest rates and save us hundreds of billions of dollars a year. But he's a stupid person. It's very interesting. I'm not sure if he doesn't understand it, because you should be able to understand it. It's sort of 101 economics, but I'm not sure of that. But think of it. With the stroke of a pen, he talks about costs. We can save $600 billion, maybe even, these are nice numbers for you, right? $900 billion, $950 billion by lowering interest rates. And it's really just more of a paper movement. It's not like you're not cutting anything, you're not cutting jobs, it's just interest rates. And we're number 40 or 44, number 45. Some places that you wouldn't believe that, I don't want to be disparaging, but they pay a lower interest rate than the United States of America. And without us, everything blows up. We sort of control the world in that sense. But we have a guy that's just a stubborn mule and a stupid person that is making a big mistake. He's making a
I agree. You're describing yourself. We do have a stupid person who's stubborn as a mule who's making a big mistake, and that's Donald Trump with his ridiculous tariff policy. Again, creating the circumstances here. That Jerome Powell has effectively made it clear in both House and Senate testimony that if Trump would just basically get rid of the tariffs and allow the economy to return to effectively where it was under President Biden, then you would probably see additional interest rate cuts. That's simple. It's because of Donald Trump and Donald Trump alone. We got a couple more clips, but it's really just Trump ranting about the European Union as well. It's just the part and parcel of what he does. But the bottom line is this. He's incapable of answering questions substantively, staying on topic, and telling the truth. He just is, okay? Again, he refuses to substantiate or corroborate his claims that all of Iran's enriched uranium was taken care of. And again, I say this as somebody who thinks that Donald Trump is an authoritarian, a threat to democracy. I think he's a terrible person. I think that he should have never been elected in the first place. I think Democrats need to win and win big in every damn election, from midterms, state and local offices, the next presidential election on out, to stop and reverse what he's done. But if he wanted to take a victory lap over what we know about the Iran strikes, he could easily do that. He doesn't have to lie about it. He can say, listen, I have set back their nuclear program by a matter of months or years. There's an easy way to spin that and not commit himself to this notion that it's literally 100% obliterated and they are literally 100% incapable of developing a nuke. He could do that, but he refuses. He could talk about gas prices without saying, in so many places, it's like under $2. It's basically like 75 cents a gallon. Like he doesn't have to do that. He chooses, he makes a conscious choice to be an inveterate liar. And then, of course, you have the ranting and raving about Jerome Powell, totally missing the fact that he's creating the circumstances by which Powell is incapable in good conscience of cutting interest rates. It's Trump's fault. That's where we are. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.